Today we're making shrimp pasta, but it's not just any shrimp pasta. What I love so much about it is that the sauce is made with champagne. Whereas a traditional pasta sauce would have white wine in it, we're using champagne today. So feel free to drink whatever's left over because there will be some. We're gonna start off cutting our mushrooms, and I just have about 8 ounces or so of white button mushrooms, and I just simply pop the little stem out. It's quite simple. Or you can use it, doesn't matter. I like to take it out. So we're just gonna cut them up. And this is gonna be the start of our pasta. We wanna cut them first, just slice them. All right, so we got our mushrooms ready to go. Turn on the pan about medium, low heat. And we're gonna add a little bit of olive oil, about a tablespoon or so. Don't freak out about measurements because I eyeball everything. And you know what I like to do right away? I just like to throw some salt on the mushrooms right away because mushrooms have a whole lot of water in them. So this will kind of like draw the water out so they saute really nicely. So while those are going, let's cut our shallot. And I love shallots because it's like a sweeter, milder onion. It's really not as potent, and it doesn't make your eyes cry as bad when you're cutting them, which is always a plus. We're just gonna mince this up. You want small cuts. We're gonna mince up our shallot because you want small pieces, and I love shallot because it's a milder onion flavor. You won't cry as much cutting it like a regular onion. And our mushrooms are doing great things right now. They look so good. We need a little more olive oil. It's a little dry. But they are sauteing nicely. We can even turn the heat down a little bit. Gotta love mushrooms. So while those are going, we're gonna finish our shallot. So we're gonna add this to the mushrooms. Those are gonna soften up. Wanna cook them till they're tender. About 3 to 5 minutes or so. So good. Okay, so now we're gonna get some garlic, about 2 cloves. Garlic can be very potent, so you don't wanna go overboard. And to be honest, garlic is like the one thing that I really don't like to cut because it's sticky and it's just kind of annoying, but you gotta have garlic in every pasta recipe. So we're just gonna mince up the garlic. And my hands are gonna smell like garlic for the next 2 days. So mince that up. It's looking good. Our mushrooms look good. And our shallot. Good things going on here. Okay, we're gonna add our garlic. And the reason you add the garlic last is because it burns so easily. Everyone says cook garlic until it's fragrant, but it already is. You can smell it right away. So I like to keep an eye on it because it does burn. It only takes like a minute or 2 to soften. So we're pretty much finished with this. Those are good. So we're gonna turn the heat all the way down so we can take all this good stuff out. And I have a bowl, so we're just gonna take all this stuff out and transfer it here and set it aside. Okay, perfect. So next up, we have a pound of our shelled and deveined shrimp. So I'm gonna add a little more olive oil. The bottom of the pan's getting a little dry. And we are going to toss in our shrimp. Spread it around so it's even, nice even layer. And since the shrimp is still raw and sticky and wet, this is a good time to season it. So just a little bit of salt and pepper. Fancy pepper shaker, look at that. Okay, so while the shrimp are cooking, changing color, doing their thing, let's cut our tomato. So we have 2 Roma tomatoes. I just like to cut off the ends. Oops. And instead of using all of the inside, because it's a little like seedy, you know, and wet, I just like to take it out, just go around, Okay. And then we're just gonna do a small dice. There's nothing like fresh tomatoes in a pasta recipe. You can tell the difference between fresh and canned for sure. Let's check our shrimp. Cook them for like another minute and then we will take them out. It's really hard. We're just gonna put them on top of the mushrooms and shallot mixture. Okay, perfect. So now we are going to add our champagne. Gotta love it. There's just something about this recipe and the champagne that just makes a huge difference. So we put about a cup and a half of champagne in here, and we're gonna reduce it, bring it to a boil and reduce it to about half a cup. This is the base for our sauce, and it's so good. So I have angel hair, but you can use whatever noodle or pasta is your favorite. Penne works really well with this dish, bow tie. So we're gonna put those in. Our champagne is doing great things right here. It looks so good. So yeah, we're close to a half a cup. Okay, so it looks really good. We're gonna add our tomatoes right now. They don't need to be sauteed or anything. They can just go straight into the champagne and absorb all of that delicious flavor. So that's good, and we're gonna add our cream next. Yummy. Okay. Just bring it to a simmer, a roaring simmer, not a boil, but a strong simmer. There is a difference. Okay, so our angel hair should be just about ready. Looks good to me. Let's see. It's perfect. So we're gonna drain this off. And make sure when you do boil pasta, be very generous with the salt. It's a good thing. And I'm just gonna add it back to our pan. Add a little bit of olive oil just so they don't stick together too much. And you know what else helps? A little bit of salt on top and a little pepper. You want every element of this dish to be flavored and seasoned properly. So that's ready to go. Just gonna hang out for a little bit. Our sauce looks great. Okay, so that looks good. So now we're gonna return our shrimp and mushrooms and shallot and garlic back in here. Make sure you don't splash yourself. And we want all of the flavors to just marry and unite and love on each other. So our shrimp really isn't gonna take that much longer to cook. So one of my favorite garnishes for any pasta dish, fresh Italian parsley. This stuff, I use it all the time. Just gonna shave a little off. It smells so earthy and delicious. Okay, so let's plate up. Get some of this delicious sauce with the champagne and the cream and the shrimp. We got our tomatoes in here with the mushrooms. I mean, this dish is your go-to for a busy, hectic week. This is it. And just make enough and you'll have leftovers all week. So a little parsley, it's beautiful. And who could forget Parmesan cheese? Gotta have it. Oh my gosh. I like a lot. Okay. Let's see how it tastes. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna burn my mouth. It's so good. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this recipe and you make it soon and you love it as much as I do. You can go to saltandpeppertotaste.com for the full grocery list and everything you need. And we'll see you next time. Bon appetit.